Hey guys, so I'm getting ready for my online class, the Morpheus Box, and I just wanted to give you some options. For those of you who've signed up or are thinking of signing up, I wanted to give you some options to think about. Now, what I'm going to recommend you guys do is try and find a box that you could fit a 2x2 in. Now, a 2x2 is actually a piece of wood that is, believe it or not, it's not 2 inches by 2 inches. It's actually an inch and a half by an inch and a half, okay? So that's the actual size. So you can get these at the hardware store pretty easily. You can buy them in a big long stretch. So something like that. And so what you want is a box where that will fit in and you'll have some space so that even on its corner you still have some space on either side because we need it to be able to spin around, right? Don't worry about the length of it because I'll show you guys how to chop that down and that won't be a problem. So what you want to do is try and find a box that's like that. Now, you don't have to find a prefab box. You know, these are things you might find in a craft store, for instance. You know, you could find an old weirdo box like this, but obviously this is really big. So you'd almost need something about the size of a fence post, which is totally doable, but it'll be a little bit harder to mess around with. So I'd say if you're still kind of new to this, I'd start off with, you know, sort of a smaller kind of box that you might find at a craft store. Now here's another one. This is really small. Now obviously this is not going to work with that sucker. It's way too big, right? So don't worry about it. We could always find, they sell some little pieces of balsa wood, for instance, things like that. Or we could even do things where we're using clay to actually make the interior square that spins. Now, just to give you guys another option, you could always look for dowels. Now, dowels, the difference is, obviously, is that they're round, right? So you see that that's round, which would be kind of nice instead of like, you know, something like this where the image changes and changes and changes. With the dowel, you have the option of creating image that sort of transitions. So you could have a little scene, you know, almost like a little cartoon. Do-do-do-do-do, and the man walks around. Do-do-do-do-do. So those are the types of things you're going to want to look for. You're also going to want to look for some screws, and you know, here's some screws. We're going to use a variety. These are sort of carriage bolt type screws, these are what I'm going to be using because they're a little bit heavier. And this particular one is 1/4 of an inch. And that's what I'm actually going to recommend you guys look for, 1/4 of an inch if you're going to do something a little more heavy duty. But basically that's the idea. Those are the types of things you're going to want to start looking for now. I'll be updating you on some other items. One thing for sure you want to see if you can track down is some Aves epoxy clay. Talk to your taxidermist store. They will probably have something similar to that. It's a 2-part clay. And the other thing you might try looking for if you can't find the Aves epoxy clay is just that 2-part epoxy stuff. You know, you like take one part of it to another and you mix it. You find it in the hardware store. So those are types of things we're going to be looking for. So start hunting and there'll be more about this coming up. See you soon.